What did I tell you? What did I tell you? I'm a big brained individual. I knew going into this week and in this game that this Tennessee offense was going to look a whole lot more revolutionized than it was the week before. Now I know what you're getting ready to say. You want this UTSA squeetar? UTSA, they ain't no good. They ain't even an SEC opponent. Okay, well, we were tied with Austin Peay around this time a couple of weeks ago. I don't want to friggin' hear it. We're up 31-0 over UTSA at the half. Tennessee has just manhandled this game pretty much throughout the entirety of it. So we'll start out with the good. We'll start out with some of the great things that I've seen, and there have been some great things. Starting with the starting play. Play number 1, as John Ward used to say. Joe Milton takes an option run, and that's the first that's the first moment that I knew that we were finally in the right direction. Joe Milton comes out, runs to the outside, and he is gone. Joe Milton, dual threat. Legend right there. I want everybody to apologize to Joe Milton after the performance that he had last week. Oh, but Joe Milton needs to go, man. We need Nico on the field right now. He ain't no good. Joe Milton is good for the game. Yeah, shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Can you even call yourself a real fan when you're running around saying that the quarterback's just terrible, not even knowing anything other than just, the quarterback didn't have a good game? Oh, it must always be the quarterback's fault. Tisk, tisk. Anyway, Joe Milton, big run to start out the game, got a touchdown, and he's been playing very, very good. I think he's had a great performance so far. Able to run the ball really well. The offensive play calling is a whole lot better than it was last week. Now, I still see the absolute ineptitude from those bubble screens, and that shit needs to stop very, very soon. And when I say very soon, I mean yesterday. Why are we still I get using that on some occasions, but when you do a bubble screen and it either A, works, or B, doesn't work, either way, you don't follow it up with another bubble screen. Stop doing that. Just stop. If you're going to run the bubble screen, if you're going to do that play, do it at a time where nobody expects. You're head coaches. You guys are coaches. The coordinators should know this by now. You don't do the exact same play every single time. Eventually, it's just not bound to work. We found that out the hard way last week. But we've seemed to do a lot better in terms of variety. I've seen a lot of 15-yard passes, curl routes. I've seen some slant routes. And I've seen some really bad miscues, which I'll get into momentarily. Other than that, though, things have been better. Overall, the play calling has been a lot better. The defense, lights out. Playing a great game overall. UTSA they can't throw the ball. They don't have anybody to throw it to. They are really struggling to pass the ball. The only issue that Tennessee's had is kind of wrapping up guys on some occasions. And, Tennessee has always kind of had an issue with the run this year. However, they weren't able to do much with it, especially since they couldn't pass the ball. Tennessee bundled up all of their defenders, and they couldn't run the ball that way. So great calling by Tim Banks. And I've been really hard on Tim Banks these past 2 years, but I give him credit where it's due, and I'm giving him credit today. He's made some great play calls. Tamarian, whoever his name is, great game overall. Got an interception towards the end of the half. Great performance by him. Our corners are playing well. The defenders are having a great game. We're wrapping up guys, getting big sacks. Have no issues with the defense. We're playing lights out on the defensive side of the ball. And the fact that the offense showed up today is just the key to victory. So that's all we can hope for is to win the game. And we're winning by 31 points right now. So I'm pretty happy about that. But now on to the bad. Uh-oh. What's bad? Well, I'll start out with Joe Milton. Yeah, Let's go talk about Joe Milton. Saying he ain't no good. So he's the worst quarterback ever in the history of Tennessee football. Oh, yep, start Nico. Yep, it's all over. Yep. No, stop that. Joe Milton has had a great game today. He's made some great runs, perfect throws even, some of which have ended up in dimes for touchdowns. Ramel Keaton, an absolute beast when it comes to catching the ball. No matter how many times you throw it to him and no matter how much coverage he's in, he'll find a way to throw it. And Milton has put some perfect pressure on some of these throws. He's made some absolute dimes out there. However, and this has been an issue that's been following Joe Milton ever since he got here, overthrows the ball. I've seen it twice already. They got all the way down to the goal line. It was first and goal. Joe Milton lines up on a slant route to Squirrel White, way over his head. Had no chance of catching the ball. And then towards the end of the half, Joe Milton lines up to throw the ball, steps back to pass, has plenty of time to throw, takes a deep shot, and there's a man literally so far wide open. It looked like Jalen Hyatt against Alabama. It was that far wide open. However, too far, and it wasn't exactly, it wasn't far enough to the point that he wasn't able to catch it, but he had to stretch his arms out. I think it was Dante Thornton really had to stretch his arms out to try and catch it. Couldn't hold on to it. So not necessarily is that in fault to entirely Joe Milton. That's also a receiver problem. But it's a good sign that there seems to be some improvement when it comes to accuracy. And the fact that there's improvement at all to this offense lets me know that they're trying. I've been waiting for Josh Heupel to come out all week and say that what happened against Florida was his fault and the coach's fault, and they were going to rebound off of it. But, showing is better than telling. So if they show that they have rebuilt this offense and this philosophy on offense and have fixed it up, that's better than telling everybody that they fixed it up, because that, results are better than just saying them. That's all I can say. So, yeah, great performance overall by him. The special teams, some serious miscues going on with the special teams. I'm not sure what in the world. We block a punt in the first quarter, and, it's sitting around the 40-yard line. It's like one of those weird scenarios where, it doesn't go back when you block it, but it flies high up into the air. For some reason, a Tennessee guy, I think it was a freshman, decided that he wanted to try and, catch the ball or to try and retrieve it. Well, he doesn't do it, but he lays his hands on it. UTSA guy recovers it. And while they didn't do anything with that, that would be a way bigger deal if it was against somebody like who we play next week, South Carolina, or whoever we play down the road. That's a much bigger issue. So, got to be able to fix those issues, special teams problems. But Tennessee fans are so overreactive when it comes to one bad miscue. Oh, we got to fire Mike Eckler. We got to fire him right now. Fire him right now. Terrible miscue on special teams. Got to fire him. Fire the entire coaching staff. You know what? Just rebuild the program from top to bottom. Bring back Jeremy Pruitt. Stop. Why do you have to overreact every time something bad goes wrong? Something bad happens. Yes, bad things happen. I mean, look at these clowns. You want to talk about some real bad clowns when it comes to Colorado is sitting there down 35-0 to Oregon. They think the sky's falling. I'm sure these sports analysts do as well. They've been sitting there glazing all over Deion Sanders for the past few weeks. Now they're sitting there with tears streaming down their face. Oh, Cinderella's losing. Cry about it. We've been telling you this all week, that eventually the little Cinderella train Deion Sanders and Oregon has going is eventually going to fall apart. They weren't going to the national championship. Good grief, sir. Yeah, their reality check incoming for for Colorado as they're down 35-0 to the Ducks. Alabama finally pulling away over Ole Miss. They're up 17-7. Woo! They look real submissive. And the way things are playing out right now, we could end up beating them. Would that be something? I'm sure they don't want to hear about that, though. And then, how about this? The Kansas Jayhawks over BYU. Is Kansas going to remain undefeated? I don't know. I'm telling you all, Kansas is a playoff team, sir. That's the truth. So, yeah, some great games going on. It's been a great slate of college football so far. And it makes it so much greater when Tennessee is winning. So, great week of college football. And, that's all there is to it. So, yeah, back to Tennessee, though. Great performance overall. Running game going really well. Joe Milton playing a great game. He's able to run the ball. He can throw 10 yards, throw 100 yards. In the offense, probably my biggest issue right now, if I had a big issue to uncover, the offensive line. We are really, really missing Darnell Wright and really missing Cooper Mays even. This guy, Ollie Lane, I never really talked about him when I did my stuff last week, and I never really talked about him at all, but he's... Is he terrible? I don't think so. But every time Joe Milton steps back to pass, it may not even be him, but it's either one of our tackles or our guards. Somebody has a miscue and lays out a big diarrhea doo-doo, and instead of actually holding on to their man, or I shouldn't say holding, because holding, I should say, instead of blocking like they're supposed to, instead, one of these guys ends up crapping their pants on every single play. So all these guys got to show up at once. That's all we need to do. If just one of these guys has a miscue, one of them's going to get to Joe Milton and he can't make a play out of it. See, I don't know why so many people are blaming Joe Milton. If Nico was standing back in the pocket and one of these offensive linemen lays out a big diarrhea dookie, what's going to happen? He's going to get sacked. Or quarterback A, B, C, or D, whichever one's playing, will have to run out of the pocket, and who knows what happens there? I don't know. I do not know. I do not know. I don't know. So, yeah, just a few things to fix going into the second half, but little to complain about, really, because we're winning by a big margin over UTSA, and it prepares us for the future of SEC ball because we got some real tough opponents coming up in the future, so we best stay tuned for that. I'll see you all at the end of the game, and let's just hope Tennessee puts on the whooping. My final score prediction was like 50-20. By the end of this game, it might be 60-0. Who knows?